Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today you're going to be joining me in celebrating the top 8 contestants and the winner of this year's Steele Brush Award, which is a yearly competition of miniature painting where contestants submit a physical miniature or a diorama to the store, and the public and a panel of judges vote on their most favorite. The winner was decided to be the best painted miniature, but we were also looking for creativity and any customization from the original model. All three of those were taken into account when judging this year's model, and we also had a runner-up winner and the best custom build, as well as the most beautiful. Okay, that's all that I wanted to say. I am going to be chatting about what I think of every single miniature in this video. I hope you enjoy it with me, and let's get started. This first top 8 contestant is called Storm Vermin Captain and is by Corey Hiltz. He is the smallest submission of the top 8 contestants, and I can't say there is a lot of creativity with respect to telling a story or customization, but I think you'll agree that he is done quite tidily, with careful gradual highlights and hand-painted glow effects. And do you see the details on his little tiny face? Do remember that this model stands about 1 inch tall. Have a look at the wee little triangles painted on his left shoulder plate. They're so tiny. And his face looks right out of a busy park you'd walk through on a day off or on your way to work, don't you think? Maybe this close you can see sort of the separate parts of tufts and details and all that, but look at that little 1.5 centimeter long rat and that teeny weeny cork on the prettily painted broken bottle. This level of detail in painting is always a treat to look at. I love it. I want to see what he can do on something a little larger scale next time, but I certainly think that this little teeny weeny fellow deserves to be among the top. This next top 8 contestant is called Celestine the Living Saint and is by Rhea Oravec. My favorite parts of this model are the doves, which are adorable and have great shadowing, the gentle painting of her face, you know faces are hard, and the painstaking work done on the scrolls, which is why I think Rhea jokingly nicknamed her piece Anxiety after she submitted it. She also has very lovely golden armor, and that random Eldari head still oozing blood onto the battlefield on the base matches the natures of the Sisters of Battle to a T. Regal in their faithfulness, but in reality they are quite brutal. I am wondering if one of Rhea's regular opponents is an Eldari player, because I always find it good fun to see friends poking at each other with the ruins of each other's armies on their bases, so maybe that was the case here. This next top 8 contestant is called Rotspawn and is by James Anderson. I love the swamp environment on his base. I think that was done really well, and I must find out where he got these bits and bobs, where he got them from, because they are such a great choice for the task. Or did he make them himself? I'm assuming he got them, but I'm gonna have to ask. I also very much appreciate the use of moss and tufts on the beast steed itself. It really makes it look like the creature thrives in the environment around it. I like that he used gloss effects on the revolting spew of whatever's coming out from the beast's mouth, and the various horns on the creatures are nicely shaded. This one and the wee rat one are my two favorites for realistic environmental bases. He even looks like he's moist, which gives me the shivers, really, but is very fitting for a pestilent Nurgle creature. This top 8 contestant is called Hunting and is by Stephen Bale. It was among the top 3 nominations for the title of Best Custom Build. I'm sure you can see why. Write in the comments how many different kits and which kits they were used to make this submission. Technically speaking, I think there were some rushed areas that could have used more attention, but I just love that a story is being told, one that is going to end very badly for one of these characters. It is my personal favorite diorama this year. This top 8 contestant is Lionel Johnson by Aidan O'Connell. I absolutely love the way this lion is painted, particularly the lion's skin, his hair that actually looks like blonde hair and not a yellow wig, which is a common problem for miniature painters, newer ones anyway. The fur pelt on his back and that sweet looking black armor. Do you see how tidy those lines are? That's gorgeous. The effort it took to make each line crisp and tidy shows, and he clearly deserves to be in the top placements. The only thing I could say that I wish could have been done differently was the soul-wrenching depression of the lion's gaze. Now, I can tease him about this because Aidan himself says he should have done more with the eyes, but he spent so long in the face, which you have to agree is done superbly, that he had been too nervous to work any longer on the eyes. I wish he had, though. But nevertheless, those 4 millimeters or so on the model doesn't distract too much away from about how good this model looks. It was such a treat to see in person. On the battlefield, he's going to be so intimidating to face, as he should be. Aidan has skill. Oh my gosh, the skill. This top 8 contestant is Cosmic Justice by Alan Reynolds. It was voted by the public and by the judges as the most beautiful miniature. It was also up in votes for best custom build, and I have to say, if you didn't know that this model doesn't exist exactly as you see here, I don't think there is any way to tell. Write in the comments which models this character was built from. I absolutely love the way the metal is done on this model. It's one of my favorite parts. The wings are beautiful, and those seals on the back look like paintings. I mean, if you get what I'm saying, they look really good. This piece looks like a work of art, and it is little wonder it was voted by so many people as the most beautiful. Having such a simple but unique base, I'm not altogether sure was the best choice, and keeping on that fly base, but I really like how he kind of brought it all together as part of the art itself. I also think that's a very lovely flaming sword. I am not a big fan of bald and scarred women personally, but this model, I would be happy to have her on the battlefield. This year's runner-up winner and voted best custom build is Dread Celstant and was created by Will Noseworthy. There were many great custom built pieces this year, which I was so happy to see. But this one, after much deliberation, was decided as best, ultimately because all the pieces of the various models used to make it have been blended so well together that unless you knew what to look for, you wouldn't know that the model wasn't originally designed this way. And I don't just mean the vampire on the top, I mean every part of this model. Let me know which kits you see were used to make this model and his base. What I like personally about him is that he has a fully fleshed out environment with him. The grasses, the stones, the moss-covered ruins, and old planks of wood even, all colored to match each other. It isn't just a base with a model resting on it. He is interacting with an environment just as well painted as he is. I like his armor and his wings, and I very much like how his wings were incorporated onto his back. That is such a nice touch, and his very cool skin tones. This year, the judges had to deliberate for quite some time on where to place each of the models in this painting competition, and it is due to the talent of artists like this one who participated, which I want to thank very much for sharing your work so that we, the public, can view them and learn from them and adore them. Now, before I show off this year's Steele Brush winner, I want to give a shout out to some honorable mentions. This is Lady Olander, and the artist who painted her is new to modeling and painting, which makes this model all the more impressive. I wanted to show this lady off because I think she is absolutely gorgeous. She had my vote for the most beautiful because I adore the color scheme so much so I wanted you to adore it with me. I cannot wait to see what a year of painting and practice is going to bring, because clearly this artist is headed in the right direction. This piece is called Barbie Gaunt. This piece is called Barbie Gaunt Open Horma. It makes me wish I had put a category for the most fun-loving miniature or diorama. I think I'll have to next year. He almost was voted best custom build. It was so neck and neck, But I still wanted to show you this fellow because he brought the most smiles to everyone's faces. I very much hope that the artist will submit another piece in the coming year with just as much fun, but maybe a little bit less rushed. It's such a great diorama though. I like it. Last of the honorable mentions is this piece. This is the one with the tragic backstory. So the contestant who built this diorama has Tourette's, and as such, his tics make painting miniatures, as you might expect, exceedingly difficult. I've known him for a long time and witnessed his tics often, and I still don't know how in the world he can manage to paint anything at all. It's inspiring. Keeps going, he keeps painting, whether his body wishes him to or not. But regardless of his tics, he's had a lot of fun with the story of his pieces. They all have some flavor to them. They're great, like this one, and this one is named Ceasefire. But as he was bringing this submission to the store to enter it, disaster struck, stairs were involved, and let's just say he came in with many pieces in his hands instead of one, asking if he might buy some glue. Yet despite all that, here it is, fully assembled, and that is a feat worth sharing. And I adore that the Space Marines are stopped and waiting for the pigs. Now, the moment you have been waiting for. Da-da-da-da. If you didn't sneak ahead and peek beforehand, that is. The winner of the 2024 Steele Brush Trophy and the cash prize of $300 goes to The Avatar of Cain by Faith Hickey. So first of all, soak it in. Do you see those details? Do you see those gemstones? Do you see that metal? Do you see those flames? Do you have any idea how difficult it is to paint flames on miniatures? If you're watching this video, you probably do. But if you don't, go give that a go and come back and look again at this miniature. Check out the careful highlighting done on each piece of armor. Faith told me that she had been working on this avatar since he was first released, which was when she picked him up, maybe 3 years ago. I'd like you to consider that, my fellow painters. You can always paint at your own pace, and when your masterpiece is ready, submit it into a friendly neighborhood painting competition. Why not, right? If you don't like the results, you can keep working on it, or other creations of yours, to see how you might improve. And if you do win, that's all your hard work validated beyond the oohs and ahs on the battlefield, which this will certainly earn. And with the next codex coming right around the corner, what a great time to have him finished. I'm gonna have to ask her if she wants to play with me sometime. I wouldn't be bothered at all being crushed to pieces by this fine fellow. And I might foolishly avoid shooting him off the board just so he stays on the battlefield looking pretty all the longer. Now, to all you who are viewing these models today, I'd love it if you wrote in the comments your own personal favorite pieces and why. If you had any questions on how the various pieces were created, what paints were used, what effects were done, anything at all like that, be sure to also write that down in the comments, and just maybe I'll be able to seek out that information from the artists themselves to share their knowledge with you in the comments or in future videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.